Why empaths attract people who secretly resent their light. Carl Jung. The privilege of a lifetime is becoming who you truly are. Carl Jung said that. And today, I'm going to show you a strange law that governs human relationships, a law you've already felt, but perhaps never knew how to name. Here's what's going to shock you. The people draining your energy aren't doing it by accident. They're unconsciously targeting you because of something specific you carry. Why do people who give light, who heal, who feel deeply always attract those who secretly want to extinguish that light? Jung discovered the answer, and what I'm going to show you in the next few minutes will explain why you always feel drained by certain people, even when you try to help. But first, let me tell you something that might disturb you. There is a magnetic tension between the empath's light and the hidden resentment of those who secretly wish to extinguish that light. You may have noticed this. When you enter a room with your quiet presence, the atmosphere shifts. Some people approach you like you're a sacred flame. Others, however, react with subtle irritation or hidden contempt. They may smile, but their energy contracts. They may admire you on the surface, but deep down, they harbor resentment. Here's what Jung discovered that will blow your mind. They're not just reacting to you randomly. They're having a specific psychological response that happens every single time. Jung called this the encounter with the shadow. Every person carries a shadow, that dark container of everything they refuse to see or accept within themselves. But here's the twisted part. When someone encounters an empath, they are confronted not only with the warmth of light, but with an uncomfortable contrast between what they are and what they wish they could be. Your light, your authenticity, your natural openness exposes their hidden wounds, the unhealed aspects they have buried. And this is where it gets disturbing. Jung said that the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. You transform others simply by existing, but transformation is not always welcome to those who are not yet ready to face their own shadow. Your light can feel like a silent accusation. They may feel diminished in your presence, not because you belittle them, but because your authenticity reveals the artificial masks they wear. It's as though their psyche whispers, "You are not living your truth." And instead of listening, they project that discomfort onto you. They resent you for being what they cannot yet be, vulnerable, awake, authentic. But wait, it gets deeper. There is also a more sinister psychological mechanism at play. Jung discovered that the empath often carries the archetype of the wounded healer. You can feel so deeply not because life spared you, but because you have known pain, perhaps in forms that left invisible scars. Your light is not naive. It was born from a long journey through your own darkness. Others sense this subconsciously. They sense that you hold a key, a knowledge about suffering, transformation, and renewal. And here's what's truly shocking. Instead of wanting to learn from you, many will attempt to steal your energy or dim your light entirely. Consider the image of the sun. It gives life, warmth, clarity, but not everyone welcomes the sun. For some, it is too bright, too exposing. They crave shadows because shadows hide the truth. In the same way, an empath's energy can feel invasive to those who are not ready to be seen. They may call you too sensitive or too emotional, but what they really mean is that your sensitivity unmasks what they desperately try to conceal. And here lies the secret resentment. They are both drawn to your light and threatened by it. It's as if they want to stand near the warmth of the fire, but cannot bear the illumination that comes with it. Now here's something that will make you see your past relationships completely differently. Jung often encountered symbols in dreams that revealed this dynamic. A dream might present the figure of the luminous child, a radiant being that shines with purity and truth, but alongside it, there is often the shadow figure, the envious sibling, the dark twin, the trickster who tries to extinguish that light. This isn't just symbolism. This is literally playing out in your real life every single day. You may have noticed how some people seem inexplicably irritated by your kindness, as though they interpret your generosity as some kind of judgment against them. This is projection. They see in you what they cannot accept in themselves. They may resent their own inability to feel deeply, to connect authentically, to live without the armor of pretense. And so, rather than face their own discomfort, they project it outward. You become too much, the one who tries too hard, the one who feels too intensely. If you've been the emotional caretaker your whole life and you're exhausted from carrying everyone else's pain, comment enough below. It's time to reclaim what's yours.
Jung understood that living as an empath is walking the razor's edge between light and shadow. Your sensitivity is both your strength and your vulnerability. It allows you to see the unspoken, to touch the invisible currents of emotion that run beneath the surface of ordinary life. But it also means you will encounter resistance. And here's what's going to change everything you thought you knew about these dynamics. Here's something that may surprise you. The people who resent your light the most are often those who secretly yearn for it. They are drawn to you because you remind them of a part of themselves they have lost. You stir in them a longing for authenticity, for freedom, for emotional depth. But because they are afraid of their own wounds, they turn that longing into anger, jealousy, or hostility. This is why so many empaths find themselves in relationships where they are both admired and subtly undermined at the same time. The empath, unaware of this dynamic, often takes it personally. You may think, "What have I done wrong? Why do they treat me this way when all I want is harmony?" But this is not about what you have done. It is about what you are. The unconscious is not rational. It does not measure things in fairness or logic. When someone's shadow is stirred, they do not pause to ask, "Is this resentment truly mine, or am I projecting it?" They simply feel it, often without knowing why. But here's the part that's going to shock you the most. This is the hidden cost of being attuned to the subtle layers of reality. You feel what others do not want to feel. You absorb the unspoken hostility, the quiet judgments, the half smiles, and the veiled remarks. Sometimes you even begin to believe them. You start to think that perhaps your light is too much, that perhaps you should shrink, speak less, feel less. But that is precisely the trap that the unconscious sets when it is not understood. If you shrink, you betray yourself. If you dim your light, you sever the connection to the very essence that makes you whole. Jung discovered that relationships are often the theater where the unconscious plays out its most intense dramas. When two people meet, it is not just their conscious selves that interact. Their unconscious minds, their archetypes, their hidden complexes all begin to dance together. And this dance is more calculated than you think. The empath often carries the archetype of the anima or animus, the inner feminine or masculine principle that represents emotional depth, intuition, and soulfulness. When someone encounters this archetype outside themselves in the form of an empathic individual, they are drawn to it because it feels like a missing part of their soul. But if they have rejected that part within themselves, they also feel an instinctive anger toward it. It's as if your existence challenges them to face the parts of themselves they have locked away, and not everyone is ready for that confrontation. Many empaths unconsciously take on the role of the one who suffers so that others may feel better. This is not because you want to be a victim, but because you have been conditioned, perhaps from childhood, to believe that love is earned through sacrifice. You may have grown up in an environment where your sensitivity was both a gift and a burden, where you were praised for caring but criticized for feeling too much. Over time, you learn to prioritize others' emotions over your own. But here's what Jung discovered that changes everything about this pattern. This creates a pattern that the unconscious recognizes. You become a vessel for other people's projections, both good and bad. They admire you for your warmth, but they also unload their shadows onto you. They resent your light because it reminds them of their own darkness, but they also depend on you to soothe that darkness. This is the double bind in which many empaths find themselves entrapped. Imagine a dream where you are holding a candle in a dark room. Around you are figures, some reaching out to you for warmth, others trying to snuff out your flame. This is not just a dream, it is a symbol of your life's journey. The candle is your empathy, your inner light, your ability to see beyond appearances. The figures are the people you encounter, some who see your light as hope, others who see it as a threat. If you're tired of being everyone's emotional dumping ground and you're ready to protect your energy before it's completely drained, subscribe now, because what I'm about to reveal in upcoming videos could save your sanity. Don't wait until you're completely burned out. Jung understood that the resentment you face is not personal, it is archetypal. It belongs to a universal pattern that has existed for centuries. Look at history, at myth, at religion. The bringers of light have always been misunderstood, envied, even persecuted. Your life may not carry such dramatic weight, but the principle is the same. When you embody light, you reveal darkness, and not everyone welcomes that revelation. I tell you this not to frighten you, but to awaken you. The empath who understands this dynamic ceases to take it personally. You begin to see resentment as a signpost, a signal that your presence has touched a nerve, stirred something in the unconscious of another. The key is not to dim your light to please others, but to understand the alchemy at play. When you see resentment in someone's eyes, know that it is not a verdict against you, but a sign of their own inner conflict. Your light does not need permission. It does not need to be justified or explained. It is the result of your journey, of every shadow you have faced and every wound you have healed. Those who resent it are, in a way, acknowledging its power, even if they do so unconsciously. In the end, the reason empaths attract people who secretly resent their light is not because there is something wrong with the empath. It is because the empath is a living reminder of what is possible: authenticity, vulnerability, and wholeness. And if the world resists, let it resist. Your task is not to fight the darkness, but to be so completely yourself that the darkness cannot help but notice. Stand in your light. But here's what you must understand. Every day you wait to establish proper boundaries, you're losing more of yourself. In my next video, I will reveal Jung's emergency protocol for empaths who are being energetically attacked right now. This is not just theory, these are the exact techniques that can stop the drain immediately. If you're finally ready to stop sacrificing yourself for others who don't appreciate it, comment enough below. Your survival as an empath depends on what you do next.